Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking 5 big myths about starting a business. Plus, if you stick around to the end of the show today, I'm going to give you the fastest way to become profitable in any business, especially for those of you who are working a job and you do not want to miss this. But I want to recognize those of you who are already building something special, those of you who are already putting in the work. So comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all know how we do. Let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from MonetizeMyLifeAcademy.com, the home of the premier digital marketing mastermind for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. If you're trying to figure out how to get your business online, how to make it more profitable, how to use social media, video marketing, email marketing, you need to be in this mastermind, man, because we literally have thousands of courses for you to learn and grow from. We meet every single month on the best practices, what's working now, and we love on each other. We help each other. No hating, no backbiting. It's just all love. You need to be in a community of entrepreneurs who are doing the same thing that you're doing and using the internet to do it. And guess what? You can get started for just $1 for your first 30 days. Yes! Your first 30 days, just $1. Test it out. Go to monetizemylifeacademy.com. Good morning, Yvette. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to go down. So you want to start a business, but you don't know where to start. You don't know what to believe. We're talking 5 big myths about starting a business that you shouldn't buy into, right? And you should start a business anyway, even if the myths were true. And I'm going to give you the fastest way to become profitable in your business if you stick around to the end of the show. Thank you, Yvette, for sharing the video and tagging folks in this, man, because people need to know that entrepreneurship is the shortest distance between working class and wealthy, period. I don't care what anybody says, right? So y'all know how we do, man. Before we get the show started, I got a few announcements that I got to go over with you guys. Listen, if you missed last night's self-publishing master class, you missed a doozy. And if you want to write a book, that master class will walk you through some of the things that not only you can do by becoming a published author, but man, it's a game changer. So if you ever want to write a book, whether it's this year, next year, or in the future, you need to watch this masterclass now because it won't always be available. So comment keyword publish, and I will send you the link to get to that masterclass. Guess what your boy got going on, man? There's a brand new show in town, and I got to give a shout out to my girl JP, CEO over at Unheard TV. Working on a big project, man. I'm super excited to be bringing a brand new show to the Unheard TV network, and I'm super excited about that. As a result, you can sponsor this show, right? I'm looking for sponsors to sponsor the Cortez Hustle Show, and get connected with me now, because I promise you this, you won't be able to afford me later. A lot of you guys, right? So you can get connected to this show. You can sponsor the whole show. You can sponsor a segment, but the name of the game is to get connected. Let me help you grow your brand by shouting you out on this show. So before we go any further, y'all know how I do, man. I like to start the show with a quote of the day. And this quote comes from one of my favorites, right? This quote is from the legend, Mr. Jim Rohn himself. And the quote is as follows: poor thinking habits is what keeps most people poor, not poor working habits. I'm gonna say it again. Poor thinking habits is what keeps most people poor, not poor work habits. See, a lot of us literally have great work habits when it comes to working for someone else on the job. We show up, we do what we need to do. We're not afraid of working hard. But when we get off those jobs, our thinking habit about what we can do and should do for ourselves, our thinking habits about what's possible for us, that's where the problem comes in at. I know a lot of people who are the most amazing employee that you could ever have working for you. But then they get into this entrepreneurship world and they become the worst employee anybody could ever have working for themselves, because of the way they think about the value of their own thing versus the value of the company that they're working for. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this: fix your thinking habits. And if you can get them to match the work habits that you have when you go work for somebody else, the esteem that you have with the other person's company who you're working for, like when you go to the job, you call it my job, my company, and you take ownership in it. But then when you're doing your own thing for yourself, is this little business, oh, I got this little side hustle. No, fix your thinking. And if it matches the same level of intensity and work ethic that you put in somebody else's business, you put that same level of intensity and work ethic in your own business, it's going to be a game changer for you, ladies and gentlemen. So again, that's a quote from Jim Rohn. Poor thinking habits is what keeps most people poor, not poor working habits. So match your work habits with your thinking habits, and you, my friend, are on your way. That is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And the Cortez Hustle Show is brought to you by my good friends over at Patty Creek Farm. So let's pause for a quick message from our sponsor.
Yo, what's up, good people? It's your man, H Cortez, Cortez Hustle. Listen, when you want to get away from all the hustle and bustle of your life, you want to unplug, you need a place to unwind and chill, I want to tell you all about Patty Creek's Farm. Man, it was amazing getaway for my wife and I. We just came down. It's about 2 hours southwest of Missouri, of St. Louis, and we just had a blast. There's plenty for you to do around the farm, or if you want to do nothing at all, I want you to listen to this. Just peace and quiet, right? Man, this is an amazing place. The grounds are beautiful, well kept. Miss Patty and Mr. Bob are some amazing human beings, and they're going to make sure that you have a very good time. So go check them out at Patty Creek's Farm. You will not be disappointed. And for those of you who are grinding all the time, remember, you need time for self-care. And what better way to do that than to unplug? Come get you a little bit of peace and quiet, get you a little bit of peace of mind, relax, chill. One of the coolest bed and breakfasts we've ever been to, Patty Creek's Farm. Check it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show, man. This is going to be a fun ride. We're talking about 5 minutes about starting a business. How many of you guys out there want to start a business and you don't quite have one yet, right? I want to know who I'm talking to out there today because I want to give you some strategies, some tips, and some things that you could do. But we got to overcome some myths that people have about starting a business. And last thing before we get into the meat of today, I want to make sure that you guys know that on Monday, I've got brand strategist Carolee Moore coming into the Cortez Hustle Show. And when I tell you, she's going to walk you through what you need to do, what you need to know, how to brand your story as an entrepreneur. There is nobody better at it. CEO and founder of C More Creatives Incorporated, Carolee Moore, will be on the show this coming Monday. So if you have not already subscribed to the channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you have not already subscribed to the podcast that you're listening to us on, make sure you do that because you do not want to miss any of our future episodes. We're talking myths about starting a business. There's a few of them that we have to get through. What's up? We have the breakthrough financial strategist, Wealth God's Way, Regina Turner, tuning in this morning. I love it, love it, love it. So let's get ready to dive in, ladies and gentlemen. So there's 5 core myths that I want to help you with when it comes to starting a business. Entrepreneurship is not for the timid. Let's get that clear out of the gate. But I still believe that everybody must make a serious attempt at entrepreneurship if the name of the game for you is to build multi-generational wealth. That's just my feelings. Those are my thoughts. And I'm not going to take it back. Right? It's not that it takes tremendous amount of courage, but you do need a certain tenacity to hit the ground running every morning when you swing your feet out of bed. Let me go back and address that statement about courage. It absolutely does take a tremendous amount of courage. And here's why it takes courage. Because we have come to a place in our lives where we care way too much about what other people think. So when we start our business, we're going to care way too much about what other people think. And that's where a lot of our fear comes from. And you got to have courage to step out that door every day. You got to have courage to step into your spare bedroom every day. You got to have courage to get up and get online every day and market and promote your business like it is a $1 trillion business like Amazon, even when you're just getting started. That takes courage, right? So we now know that whales and dolphins are not mermaids and that the world is not flat. But there was a period in time when those myths were accepted as fact. Similarly, there are myths built up around starting a business that simply are not true, especially in today's economy, especially in today's online, digitized, social media world. There's a lot of myths that came from old business practices and models that people are bringing into today that just aren't true. Similarly, there are myths built up around starting a business that simply aren't true. Here are 5 of the common entrepreneurial myths about starting a business that I don't know if I ever used to believe these, but a lot of people do believe them. Let's go ahead and debunk them right now. Number 1, this is one that most people struggle with, is you have to know what you're doing, right? So many people are afraid to get out there and try because they think, Cortez, I don't know everything that there is to know about this thing. You actually don't need to know exactly what you're doing to get started. Now, do you eventually have to learn what you're doing? Yeah, absolutely. But not to get started. Time has proven that continuously, from Magellan, Einstein, Madame Curie, Steve Jobs, and beyond. There was never an exact point for the course ahead. Just a general idea that something more was out there. That's all they had when they started. Just hey, there's something more out there. That's all they had when they started, ladies and gentlemen. And they pursued it, and they let their curiosity overpower the myth that they had to know exactly what to do every single step of the way. Taking notes, I want you to write this down. Ready, fire, aim. Ready, fire, aim. Most people are trying to get ready. They're trying to perfect their aim, and then they fire. No, that ain't how you do it today. Today, there's a reward, there's a blessing for those who understand speed to market. See, you can get ready. You can spend all of this time aiming, and you can shoot your shot. And then the marketplace will tell you, get that weak junk out of here, right? They'll tell you, hit you with the Matumbo finger. No, 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 no. But if you get ready and you fire and you put that thing on the marketplace and then take that feedback and then you course correct, then you fix your aim. That's the model for today. Do not get caught up in trying to create something that's perfect right out of the gate. It's not going to work, because you can spend all of that time creating this perfect thing, and then when you put it out, the marketplace say, no, we don't even want that. But you should get an idea, test that idea, put it out there, right? People who want to be perfect in everything that they do, those are people who are just finding another mask for fear. That's all it is. Because perfectionism is nothing more than a bougie way of saying procrastination. And procrastination is nothing more than a mask for fear. I'm scared, so I'm going to put it off. I'm scared, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I'm scared, so I'm going to wait until the kids get old enough. I'm scared, so I'm going to wait until I get the degree. I'm scared, so I'm going to wait till I get the certification. No, man, that ain't how it works. I remember reading in .com Secrets, or it might have been an Expert Secrets, about how Tony Robbins got into neuro-linguistic programming. He went to take a certification that was going to take him 6 to 8 weeks to complete. The first couple sessions, he learned and mastered a few things that could literally change people's lives. So what did he do? He went out and started doing what he learned and started getting results. And ultimately, the people who he was in the class with going through the certification would put him out of the certification program because he was practicing before he got the certificate. Listen, man, you don't need anybody else's permission to be great. Not a single other person permission. You don't need it. And he didn't need their certification to go out and start doing what he knew worked. And to this day, he has changed millions of lives. And I still don't think he has any certification in neuro-linguistic programming, right? You just need to know the information, how to apply it, and let your results be your certification. So number one myth that I want you to take away, if you don't take nothing else away, you don't need to know what you're doing to get started, right? My mentor, Brian Bean, says it this way. If you have the why and the what, the how will show up. If you know why you want to be in business, you know what you want to do in business, the how to do it successfully will show up. And that's the approach that I take in this thing that we call life and entrepreneurship. So really quickly, it's time for 1 minute motivation. If you're new to the show, 1 minute motivation is where we play a short motivational video. And in that motivational video, I ask you to comment a couple takeaways. I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways, but I'm big on personal growth and self-development. And I just believe that you should have some of this in your day, every day, to help you start your day off on the right foot. So let's get into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Let's do it.
Most important person to believe in is always yourself.
When you feel like throwing in the towel, when you feel like surrendering everything you work for, remember why you started. Remember how you felt when you started. You were hungry. When you want to let go, when you want to surrender, when you want to stop, when you're ready to quit, when you have failed and failed again. Let me remind you what got you here. Hunger got you here. A strong desire got you here. You were desperate to break curses in your family. You were desperate to break the cycle of poverty and depression. You were desperate. Hunger got you here. Remember this. Every dream requires discipline. Every dream requires discipline. You can travel the world and study students and their behaviors and their mindsets. There is a science behind achievement. And when you study the most successful students in the world, we find that they are responsible, they are motivated, they are self-managed, they are self-aware. They have a long-lasting student mentality even after they have passed the test. Because they understand that life is a test. And in life, there are ups and there are downs.
Hoo-wee! I don't know about y'all, but man, that always fires me up. And man, I'm telling you, you got to understand that nobody else has to believe in you in order for you to win, right? Nobody, there's only one person required to believe in order for you to win, and that is you, my friend. All things are possible for him, for her that believed. Not all things are possible for him that has a spouse that believes. Not all things are possible for him who has homeboys or homegirls that believe. No, stop waiting on everybody else to believe in what you're trying to do and get accomplished. Because that's not required. You are the only one that is required to believe. So comment in the chats, man. What did you guys hear? One of the things he said was, remember why you started. When the road gets rough down this path of entrepreneurship, remember why you started. You got to remember why you started. That's going to get you through the tough times. You got to stay hungry, ladies and gentlemen. You absolutely must stay hungry. You can never be satisfied. You can never get to a place where you just want to rest permanently. No, life is a test. You got to continually put new goals in front of yourself to strive for, right? That's the key. That's the key. Every dream requires discipline. What? And I love the way Will Smith puts it. He says self-discipline is self-love. When you love yourself enough, then you'll discipline yourself enough to do the things that will get you to the place that you really want to be as a result of how much you love yourself. Man, that is powerful, 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 powerful stuff. You have got to be hungry for your dreams and your goals. You got to be hungry. You got to have this fire in your belly that nothing is going to stop you. Then you got to be a lifelong student, man. When you understand that there is no end to this thing called life, there is always another level. You got to be constantly learning and growing, because there's only two states of being, y'all. You're either growing or you're dying. That's it. There's two states of being. You're either growing or you're dying. Period. There's no in between. And growing is constantly learning, adapting, changing, evolving. And the moment that you stop doing that, you literally start the process of dying. So make sure that you stay hungry. Make sure that you keep learning, you keep growing. You make that a part of your daily habit, your daily routine. Make that a part of who you are, ladies and gentlemen. And that, my friend, concludes 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Monetize My Life Academy, the premier digital marketing mastermind for entrepreneurs of the 21st century. Can I coach you for just $1? Yeah. I'm giving access to hundreds of courses, thousands of ebooks and material to help you learn the skill sets of building an attractive, powerful, and profitable online brand that will attract to you your ideal customers and clients, that will convert those ideal customers and clients on autopilot, that will ascend them up your value ladder and ultimately retain them in your ecosystem so that you can make more money with less effort. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, then I want you to test our system for just $1, ladies and gentlemen. Go over to monetizemylifeacademy.com and you can enroll for just $1 for the first 30 days. We're talking about entrepreneurship and the 5 biggest myths about starting a business. Number 1 was that you have to know what you're doing. It's not true, man. It's not true. You learn and you grow as you get started. In fact, getting started becomes the motivation for you to learn and grow and succeed. Everybody can sit back and be an armchair quarterback. But when you get in the game and you get knocked around a little bit, you start saying, wait a minute, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. Let me go do some research on how to do that better next time. Let me study that failure and extract the lesson so I don't repeat that over and over again. There's only so much you can learn on the outside. Eventually, I don't care how much you watch basketball tapes and basketball games and do basketball drills, there's nothing like the actual feedback you get when you take what you learn and you put it into practice on the actual court. That's what you got to do in this world of entrepreneurship. That's where the most growth and development is going to happen for you, my friend, is in the actual game, not in the stands. Everybody talks about what they would have done from the stands if they were in the game, and that's a cotton picking lie. That's a lie. You can't say what you would have done in the game in that moment if you've never been in the game. Number two, these are myths that people use, excuses that they use to not start a business. Number 2, you have to have a full business plan. These are things that people think, and this is what stops a lot of them from starting a business. I personally don't like giant business plans. In fact, I don't even have a business plan. I have a business model, but not a business plan. Something people that effectively outline, some people think that effectively outlines your mission, vision, and marketing tentpole efforts with some data matrix around how you're measuring your success, and you should be good to go. That's what most people think. If I got this business plan, then I can't start until I get this business plan. No, you just need an idea. You need a model. You need to get started, and you can develop your business plan as you go. I've witnessed many entrepreneurs get bogged down in the mud of insisting they need a full business plan to start their businesses, even going as far to hire someone to write it and filing for a trademark before they ever start the business. What? I know people who've gone and seen and got business plans for people, and it took 6 months for the business plan to be developed. And by the time the person handed them the business plan, the business plan is outdated. Then I know someone like my girl Ariel who teaches young kids how to start businesses. She gets them a one-sheet business plan. They can do it inside 25 minutes. And then by the time they finish that one-sheet business plan, those kids will start this journey 1 week, and the very next week they're making money. Why? Because they're not getting bogged down with all the minutia. I'm of the philosophy that you should test out whether your business is even viable before you sink money into it. And the internet allows you to do this testing at a very low cost and at a very big scale. So you can get tons of data. Get a solid 2 or 3 page outline of your business plan and then get to work. Don't get trapped in a business plan analysis paralysis. Guys, you don't require all of that. You need a simple model that says, okay, boom, here's the industry that I want to be in. Here is the problem that I want to solve. Here are the people I want to solve it from. Here is where the people I want to solve this problem for congregate. Here's how I intend to get my message in front of them. And when they take my test price, here is how I'm going to fulfill on my promise. They don't take 40 pages to spell those little things out. It just doesn't. And then I'm going to go straight to the internet and start fulfilling on the promise. Right? So, number one, we're talking about 5 big myths that are holding people back from getting started in this world of entrepreneurship. And it's my belief that everybody should have a business, right? Forget all of that, what you hear all the time, that, man, everybody can't run a business, Cortez. Why not? When every skill that you need to run a business is learnable. It's another myth, and it ain't on the list, that you got to be born a business owner. You got to be born an entrepreneur. Well, let me help y'all with this myth real quick. My simple definition of what an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur is a person that gets paid to solve problems. That's what an entrepreneur is. They sometimes have to innovate to come up with a solution to solve that problem. Sometimes they just have to be aware of solutions that currently exist, and they use those existing solutions to solve other people's problems, and they get paid in the process. Well, watch this. As people ask, Cortez, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? Man, entrepreneurs are born. We are all born entrepreneurs. If an entrepreneur is someone who gets paid to solve problems, you've been an entrepreneur your entire life. Because your entire life, you've run into problem after problem after problem, and you solve that problem for yourself, and you got a payout for it. When you were a baby and you were crawling, and you had a problem that crawling couldn't get you into some spaces that you wanted to get into. You had a problem that crawling couldn't get you around as fast as you wanted to. So what did you do? You solved that problem by learning how to walk. How did you learn how to walk? By modeling other people around you that were walking. 2 of my sons, their first steps were running. See, we grew up in a place where when my children were born, my wife, early on, when they were young, she still stayed at home with her mom, right? And she had her brothers and sisters would bring their kids over to her mom's house. So all of these kids would be in the house, right? And they'd be chilling, they'd be having a good time, right? And my sons were at that age where they're ready to start walking, but they hadn't quite figured it out. And I remember my older sons and their cousins, my nieces and nephews, they would always come in through the front door after school, and they would run through the house, drop their book bags down, and then they would run out the back door to play. And when I tell you, one day I'm holding my kid and standing them up, trying to get them to walking, and they see that train of kids come through the front door and run through the house, dropping their book bags to get out the back door to play. And my son literally fell in line, running, chasing after them like he had been running all of his life. Right? So my son had a problem that he couldn't keep up with the rest of the kids while he was crawling. So he solved that problem by learning to walk. And the payoff was being able to keep up with his brothers and cousins. See, you were born a problem solver. You've been doing it all your life for a payoff. But the payoff, when you become an adult, a lot of the times we focus on the payoff as being monetary. So you've been an entrepreneur. You just didn't know that all an entrepreneur is someone who gets paid to solve a problem. Now you need to get paid to solve other people's problems, right? So number one was you don't have to know everything to get started. That's something that everybody thinks, man, I got to know everything. Number two, I got to have a full business plan. No, I just have to have an outline. No, I just have to have a model. And then you have to have some people that you're going to model after. Number three, you have to start at the right time. This is big, y'all. This is big. This is one that keeps everybody stuck. Wrong. The only timing that will ever be right is now. In fact, countless entrepreneurs have started their businesses at the worst possible times in history and the worst possible time in their personal lives, i.e., all the people who started businesses during a global pandemic. What? Yes. I know that the media will have you focusing on all of the businesses that shut down because of the pandemic. And my heart goes out to any business owner that was not in position to pivot and last through this storm. But they never talk about all of the thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of businesses that were born in this wreckage. Just like we rarely hear in other times in history, all of the businesses that came out of the Great Depression, all of the businesses that came out of the civil rights struggles that we had in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? We don't hear about a lot of that stuff. And that's on purpose. See, we have an economy that is controlled by the top of the top of the top. And the way that they got to the top of the top of the top is that they leveraged entrepreneurship, right? They built massive international conglomerates as businesses. Now, in order for them to stay in that position, they need employees. If I have a multinational business conglomerate, then I need people working in that business. And if I have influence over the leaders of this economy, then what am I going to use that influence to do? Say, listen, I need you to make sure that I have a continuous influx of employees to help me run my multinational conglomerate business. And then my cohort, who also has a multinational conglomerate business, and then his cohort, and the top 50, the top 100 businesses in this country who benefit the most from the labor of employees, they all come together and say, look, Mr. Government, Mr. IRS, Mr. President, what we need more than anything else are employees ready to work. And here's how you can get those for us. We need you to use your national platform called the educational system to create for us what we need to continue to thrive as multinational conglomerates. So in fact, we don't even need you. What we're going to do is we're going to usurp the entire educational system, and we're going to make sure that with our funding, that we fund these schools, these universities, these local schools that are state run, and we're going to fund them. And because we fund them, we get to dictate what the curriculums are. We get to dictate the mindsets that we want to be crafted and created in these institutions, so that when people graduate, they're graduating with a dual mindset. The mindset that they graduate with is twofold. I need them to graduate with a mindset of a consumer, and I need them to graduate with the mindset of an employee. And if we have everybody who comes through this country, because it's mandatory that you got to go to school. Now, when you get through that school system that we control, you're going to come out of that school system as a consumer and an employee-minded individual. And that's how we want to stay on top, because we're going to be right there waiting on you with the products for you to buy and the businesses for you to work at. Drop mic. So I get it why you believe that everything has to be done in the right time. Entrepreneur and podcaster Pat Flynn started his online business after the nearly simultaneous news that he was being laid off from his corporate gig and that his wife was pregnant with their first child. No one would likely choose the high anxiety period in their personal life to start a business, but life tends to take us where we need to go. Microsoft was founded in 1975 near the end of a recession and later reincorporated in 1981, just as the recession of the 1980s kicked off. These were two horrible times to start a business, but that hasn't stopped Microsoft's success. So you saying, I can't start this business, Cortez, my kids are too young, wait till they grow up and I can put them in school, I'll have more time to start the business. Oh, Cortez, my kids are in elementary school right now. When they get into middle school, they can fend for themselves a little bit better. I'll be in better position to start the business. Oh, Cortez, when my kids get into high school, I'll be ready to start the business because I don't have to be so much for them. You know what, Cortez? I'm just going to wait for my kids to get out of the house. When they go off to college or get on their own, then I'm going to start the business. Oh, Cortez, I just had my first grandbaby. So when that grandbaby gets in the it's a never ending cycle of waiting on the right time to start your business. There's never a right time if that's your thinking. But when you understand that the time is now, now is the right time. Wherever now is for you, whether you just got laid off on a job or you just started a new job, now is the time for you to start a business. Whether your kid just graduated college or you just had a baby, now is the time for you to start a business. Whether you just got married or you just got divorced, now is the right time, the perfect time to start a business. Hope y'all getting it. Life is never going to create a perfect set of circumstances in the outward world and economy or within your personal world, in your personal economy. Cortez, if I can just get my money right, I'm going to go ahead and get that thing started. It don't work like that, y'all. It don't work like that. The universe rewards action takers. When you make a decision, it is then that the universe bends to your will. It's not when you're thinking about making a decision. See, some of you guys are saying, well, Cortez, if I just had the right resources, I would be okay. I'll be ready to make this leap. You don't get the right resources to show up in your life until you make the decision. and you do the thing, then the universe says, this person is serious. Let me open their eyes because the resources are already there. Your eyes are closed because you haven't made a decision. So the universe says, now that they made a decision, I realize they're serious. Let me now open their eyes to the resources that they need to win. But let me warn you of this. Not to scare you, but to prepare you. The minute the universe opens your eyes to the resources that are already at your disposal for you to win, that same universe also opens your eyes to the challenges and the roadblocks that you have to overcome. See, you invite the resources to win, just like you invite the challenges that's going to not keep you from winning, because that's what most people think. Cortez, the minute I started this business, I lost my job. And most people will see that as a roadblock that says, quit the business and go find another job. No, what the universe is doing is saying, listen, you said you were serious about this business. I looked at your dreams and goals. I looked into your heart and says, man, you're ready. So I had to take the job away as a distraction so that you can put all the time into the business. Now go hard in the business, and the struggles that you have to go through to build this business while you just recently lost your job, they're going to strengthen you for the level that you're going to. So the universe isn't bringing challenges to stop you. They're bringing the challenges to quicken you. They're bringing the challenges to strengthen you because you made a decision that this is where you want to be. The universe already knows that in order for you to get there, you got to be stronger. So let me put a weight training program in front of you. This is how I look at challenges. This is not something to stop me. This is a weight training program so that I can bulk up, so I can add 5 pounds of mental muscle, so I can get my mental cardio up, so that I can get my emotional abs together. Because the level that I'm going to when I get through this challenge, quote unquote, when I get through this mental, this emotional fitness training program, I'm going to be ready to stand on that next level. So know that when you make that decision, your eyes are going to be open to seeing the challenges, to seeing the resources that you have at your disposal to help you win, but they're also going to be open to seeing the challenges that appear to be roadblocks. They appear to be stumbling blocks. No, they're stepping stones. When you develop the strength to step up on those things, you're going to be able to see even further into the horizon. You're talking 5 myths about starting a business. Myth number 1, you have to know it all. You have to know what you're doing. No, you don't. Get started and the answers will come. Number 2, you have to have a full business plan. No, you just got to have a business model. You got to have an outline of what you're trying to do. You got to have know who you want to serve, the problem that you're solving, why you want to serve that particular person to help them overcome that particular problem, where those people congregate at, what your ideal customer looks like. You need to know some things, but you don't need to know everything. Myth number 3, you have to start at the right time. Right now is the right time. Whenever you're watching this, right now is the right time. If you need confirmation, Cortez, I just don't know when to start. I'm waiting up right now. For those of you who are looking for confirmation of when to start your business right now, start it today. Start it today. Number 4, you have to have a lot of money to start your business, right? You got to have a lot of money to start your business. No, you don't. We got something called the internet. You can listen. Here's how cost effective it is for you to start a business. Today, right now, today, and whenever you're listening to this, you can operate your business as a sole proprietor. Costs you $0. Your social security number is an EIN number for those of you who do not know. You just have to designate to the IRS that, hey, you know what? Cortez Springer is also Cortez Springer, a business. That's it. Now, you can create a separate entity if you want to, a LLC, a corporation, or what have you, but your social security number is an EIN number, just for those of you who are not clear about that. So you can start your business today as a sole proprietor. You can then go to digitalempiresystem.com, take our 14-day trial, and build you a website today. Today. Didn't cost you any money to get started. You can then go to a GoDaddy.com if you want to and buy you a domain name, CortezSpringer.com. $14, $15, right? So I got a website, I got a domain. I told the IRS that I'm now using my social security number to do business. So I get tax write-offs and tax benefits, right? What else might you need? You might need a way to market and get the message out about your business. Okay, I got social media. So I take CortezSpringer.com and then I go set up the social media platforms to go with that. So now I got Facebook.com/Cortez Springer Business. I got Instagram.com/Cortez Springer Business. I've got TikTok.com/Cortez Springer Business. So now I got a marketing platform for free. So right now I'm in business for $13, $14. I might want to go to the Secretary of State and register a fictitious name, right? If I don't want to do business as Cortez Springer, I want to do business as Cortez Hustle. So I go to the Secretary of State, spend $10 and register my fictitious name. So now Cortez Springer is doing business as Cortez Hustle. So I'm in this whole thing, business set up and ready to go for less than $50. What? Wait, what? Yeah. Well, Cortez, you don't have a product to sell. Okay, well, watch this. If I want a product to sell, then I do something called affiliate marketing, because I don't want to create a product and I don't want to have to fulfill that product and I don't want to have to do customer service for that product. So I go and I connect with somebody like Cortez Hustle and say, hey, bro, I want to start a business, but I want to create a product. Great. I got a product for you called the Rapid Profit Machine. Right? If you click on the link in the description that says Rapid Profit Machine, it's going to give you a product. And what are you going to do with that product? Well, Cortez, listen, you're going to set it up for free. And then all you're going to do is you're going to go and promote that product for your business on your free marketing platforms. So you mean to tell me, Cortez, I am in business for less than $50? Yeah. And I can sell somebody else's product and they'll give me a commission anywhere from 20 to 70%. Yes. And because of that, I get all of the tax benefits of being in business. Yes. I get to write off my miles. I get to write off some of my meals. If I do any travel, I can talk about my business, promote my business wherever I go. So that becomes a tax write-off. I get to hire my children to help me work in this business. I get to write that off too. I get to write off some of my cell phone. I get to write off a percentage of my rent. Any expenses that go on with my house because my business is also in my house, I get to write. Yes. 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 And now is the perfect time for you to do it. You don't need a lot of money to get started. There's a whole book by Eric Ries about why this is the case called The Lean Startup. There are lots of ways to kick off your business without a bunch of capital. I just told you. I just gave it to you, right? One of the best ways to debunk this myth for yourself is to start micro testing your product or your service either on the side or in small batches to scale your growth incrementally. Big chunks of capital might help you grow faster, but sometimes a slow and steady growth rate can help you stabilize and get your business legs underneath you while you profit. Number 5. Myth number 5. Cortez, I have to hire a bunch of people. This is what people think about. This is why they don't start businesses, right? They think I got to know everything to get started. These are myths. There's reason that these myths are perpetuated in the school system. I told you that. They start training you that business is hard from the time you enter school. Why? Because they don't benefit from you being a business owner as much as they benefit from you being an employee. When I say they, I'm talking about corporations and the government. Corporations leverage the labor of employees. The government leverages the taxes they get from employees. So they need more employees than they do business owners. You need more business owners in your house, in your family, in your descendant line than you need employees if y'all talking about building generational wealth. And then the employees that you do have in your family line should all be working for one of the family businesses. Yep, I said what I said. So you got to stop thinking you need to know everything. You got to stop thinking that you got to have a full business plan. You got to stop thinking that the timing got to be perfect. You got to stop thinking you need a ton of money. Number 5, you have to hire a staff. No, you don't. I just told you can sell other people's products. That's affiliate marketing. I take somebody's product and I promote it on my Facebook. I promote it on my website. I promote it on my Instagram. They're going to pay me a commission every time somebody buys that product through my link. I don't need a staff to make that happen. I just need some hustle. I just need some grit. I just need some tenacity. I just need some ambition. I just need some hunger. I just need some get up and go about me. Now, when you're scaling a business, of course, you're going to need to hire a staff. This is one myth I quickly debunked when I started my first business with my brother. Staff is expensive to keep, costs time to manage, and are in most ways the biggest expense any business will have on their books. The longer you can keep your business under your core leadership, the better. Also, in my experience, when you can outsource to agencies or freelancers, for most businesses, that's almost always better. So not only do I not have to hire a staff, when I do need work done, I can just hire an agency and get it done without having to bring on payroll, without having to bring on a staff. When I do need an assistant, I can just hire a virtual assistant for the projects that I need them on, and I pay them for the gig, and it's a wrap. Oh, you definitely got to put your business on Instagram. Definitely. In fact, I got a great Instagram training course that you might be interested in that will help you learn how to do that effectively on Instagram. So hopefully you guys got some great value out of this. I just want to remind you before we get out of here that Monday's show, man, your brand story with special guest Carol Lee Moore, founder and CEO of C Moore Creatives Incorporated. If you got a business and you don't know what your brand story is, you don't know how to create a brand story, then you definitely want to check in on Monday, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.